Welcome to today's Explainer. I'm so glad you're here because today we're tackling something that literally frustrates almost everyone at some point: stubborn belly fat. We're going to break down a really effective, science-based approach drawn directly from our source material today, known as the Gorilla Game Plan. By the end of this Explainer, you'll have a rock-solid 5-step lifestyle plan to finally kick that belly fat to the curb for good. Seriously, why is your belly fat still paying rent? It's incredibly frustrating, right? Our source hits the nail on the head with this struggle. You might be out there running your heart out every single day, grinding through daily crunches on the living room floor, and yet, that belly fat is just sitting there, taking up residence. It's like a bad tenant who just ignores every eviction notice you hand them. Well, today, we're going to figure out exactly why those old tactics aren't working and what you actually need to be doing instead. Section 1. Why crunches don't work. Okay, let's dive into this. For years, we've all been sold this idea that endless crunches and brutal cardio sessions are going to magically melt stomach fat. But actually, the physiological reality is totally different. Spot reduction, the idea that you can burn fat in one specific area just by exercising that exact spot, is a complete myth. What actually works? A calorie deficit, period. All the crunches and running in the world were never going to magically target your belly fat on their own.
Now, this brings us to a really vivid analogy straight from our source material. Think of your abdominal muscles kind of like a banana hiding underneath its peel. Crunches are absolutely phenomenal for training the muscle under the fat. Honestly, you could already have a perfect chiseled six-pack built right down there. But right now, it's just covered up. Doing more crunches doesn't peel the banana, it just makes the banana slightly bigger underneath the skin.
So the obvious question is, how do we actually peel the banana? Well, we have to look at the core mechanism of fat loss, which is a calorie deficit. Basically, this just means eating less energy than your body burns on a daily basis. That is the only way to peel away that fat layer. More crunches literally won't do it. You simply have to eat fewer calories than your body uses, which forces your system to finally tap into that stored belly fat for energy.
Section 2. The Calorie Deficit Secret.
Step 1 of the Gorilla Game Plan starts right here: cutting out liquid calories. We're talking about soda, sweet tea, energy drinks, and yeah, those sugary iced coffees we all love so much. These are incredibly sneaky calories. They don't fill you up, they don't trigger those fullness signals in your brain like real food does, but they add up so fast. The absolute easiest swap you can make today is just trading these out for water or black coffee. By doing that, you're dropping into a calorie deficit without changing a single actual meal on your plate. 300 to 500. For a lot of people, just cutting out those liquid calories effortlessly saves them 300 to 500 calories every single day. Just think about that for a second. You aren't even eating less food, you just aren't drinking your calories anymore. And this brilliantly illustrates why this tactic is just so powerful. To put it into perspective, drinking a large soda or a sugary coffee is basically consuming a 30 to 40-minute run just sitting right there in a cup. Think about how much effort it takes to run for 40 straight minutes. You can totally bypass that grueling workout simply by not drinking those specific beverages. It is honestly the easiest physiological win you can give yourself.
Section 3. Smarter Movement Strategies.
Let's shift gears and see how movement builds into our game plan. Look, hard cardio is useful, sure, but it is not magic. While it definitely burns a high amount of calories, it also leaves you absolutely starving afterward. And what happens then? People overeat and completely ruin their calorie deficit. Walking, on the other hand, burns close to the same overall calories if you do enough of it, but it keeps your post-workout hunger completely normal. So the strategy here is to aim for 6,000, 8,000 steps a day, or maybe just opt for 2 to 3 cardio sessions a week instead of grinding every single day. The flip side of smarter movement is building muscle. And why is that? Because muscle tissue burns calories, even when you are just sitting on the couch resting. It's kind of like upgrading your body's engine so it burns more fuel while it's just idling. To do this efficiently, our source stresses compound lifts. Think squats, deadlifts, rows, presses, and pull-ups. These movements are incredibly effective because they work a bunch of different muscle groups all at the same time, burning way more energy than a single isolation exercise like, say, a standard bicep curl. Let's actually break down the mechanics of the absolute go-to movement here, the squat. Perfect form means sitting back like you're reaching for a low branch right behind you. You want to make sure your knees are tracking cleanly right over your toes. And the goal? 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps. The best part about this whole thing is you can do bodyweight squats right in the middle of your living room. Keep it slow, keep it controlled, use those exact sets and reps, and you are literally building a metabolic engine.
Section 4. Fueling and Recovery.
The absolute magic number for your fueling strategy is 1. Specifically, 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight every single day. This is the golden rule our source lays out to make sure that while the fat is coming off, your hard-earned muscle stays exactly where it is.
To actually hit that target number, you're going to want to aim for protein at every single meal. We're talking eggs, chicken, fish, Greek yogurt. These are all fantastic protein-packed fuels. And here's why hitting this matters so much. If you skip your protein while you're in a calorie deficit, your body will actually panic and start eating its own muscle tissue for fuel instead of your fat. And obviously, we want to lose the fat, not the muscle engine that's supposed to be burning it.
Okay, now we really need to confront 2 massive lifestyle saboteurs when it comes to your recovery: alcohol and bad sleep. Alcohol literally shuts down your body's fat-burning processes completely, while your system scrambles to process the booze out. Meanwhile, getting bad sleep is just as destructive. It spikes your cortisol levels, that's your main stress hormone, which acts as a direct, blaring signal to your body to store fat right in your belly.
But here is the fantastic news. Fixing both of these are totally free wins. Cutting out alcohol and making sure you get 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep are completely passive activities. They are incredibly powerful, highly effective fat loss optimizers that work for you while you're quite literally doing nothing but resting. It is basically the ultimate biological life hack.
Section 5. The Ultimate Game Plan.
So, bringing this all together, the crucial takeaway is this simple 5-step guerrilla game plan to finally shed that stubborn weight. Step 1, ditch those crunches and cut the liquid calories to easily create your deficit. Step 2, walk daily instead of punishing yourself with grinding endless cardio. Step 3, build your metabolic engine with compound movements like squats. Step 4, hit that protein goal of 1 gram per pound to protect your muscle. And Step 5, cut the alcohol and prioritize 7 to 9 hours of sleep to optimize all your hormones. That's the whole shebang.
Now, there's one final, absolutely essential ingredient to all of this: patience. You really have to start measuring your progress in weeks, not days. True physiological change, actually peeling away that fat layer to reveal the muscle underneath, just does not happen overnight. It requires real consistency with the 5 steps we just walked through. But if you stick to the plan, the results will absolutely follow.
So now that you have the guerrilla game plan, the choice is totally yours. Are you ready to finally hand that belly fat its eviction notice? Or are you just going to let it keep living there rent-free? The blueprint is right in your hands. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer today. Now get out there and start putting in the work.